Well, they got Polikov, Roy Batty said. They got Garland, and a little earlier today they got Luba. I didn't think they'd get Luba. Remember, I kept saying that during the trip.
Oh, God. Well, they had this investigator, this bounty hunter.
Irmgard said.
Named Dave Holden. And then Polikov almost got him.
Almost got him, Roy echoed, his smile now immense.
So he's in this hospital.
Irmgard continued.
And evidently they gave his list to another bounty hunter, and Polikov almost got him too. But it wound up with him retiring Polikov. And then he went after Luba. We know because she managed to get a hold of Garland. See, Luba called us right after Garland's agent picked up the bounty hunter. She was sure it would be okay. She was so sure that Garland would kill him. But evidently something went wrong on mission. We don't know what. Maybe we never will. Does this bounty hunter have our names?
Pris asked.
Oh, yes, dear. I suppose he does.
Irmgard said.
But he doesn't know where we are, and we've decided to take one of these abandoned apartments in this ratty old building.
Is that wise? Isidore spoke up, summoning courage. To all be in one place.
Well, they got everybody else,
Irmgard said. Why don't you move in with him? Roy said to Pris. He could give you a certain amount of protection.
A chicken head?
Pris said.
I'm not going to live with a chicken head. I think you're foolish to be a snob at a time like this,
Irmgard said. I think you should move in with Isidore, Roy said. And I think Irm and I should live here in the same building. I've got some electronic components in my car, junk I ripped off the ship. I'll install a two-way bug and I'll rig up an alarm system. I think there's a reason why the three of us are still alive. I think if he had any clue as to where we were, he'd have shown up by now.
And if he waits,
Irmgard said,
we slip away like we've done. I bet Roy is right. I bet he has our names but no location. Poor Luba. Stuck in the War Memorial Opera House, right out in the open. No difficult finding her.
Well, Roy said, she wanted it that way. She believed she'd be safer as a public figure.
You told her otherwise,
Irmgard said. Yes, I told her. And I told Polikov not to try to pass himself off as a WPO man. And I told Garland that one of his own bounty hunters would get him, which is very possibly, just conceivably, what did happen. Isidore spoke up. I'd gather from listening to Mr. Batty that he's your natural leader?
Oh, yes, Roy's a leader,
Irmgard said.
He's organized our trip.
Pris said.
From Mars to here.
Then, Isidore said, you'd better do what he suggests. I think it would be terrific, Pris, if you lived with me. I'll stay home a couple of days from my job. I have a vacation coming to make sure that you're okay. Incredible, he thought, that the police can't do anything. I can't believe that. These people must have done something. Irmgard and I'll stay in this apartment, Roy said. Pris, you go with Mr. Isidore. He led Pris upstairs to his own apartment, dark and empty and stuffy, and lukewarm as it was. Carrying her possessions into the bedroom, he at once turned on the heater, lights, and the TV. I hope, Isidore said, I can help make your stay here on Earth pleasant. He felt sure that he could. It seemed to him a cinch, the culmination of his whole life. As soon as he officially quit work that evening, Rick Deckard flew across town to Animal Row, the several blocks of big-time animal dealers with their huge glass windows and lurid signs. Yes, sir, a nattily-dressed new animal salesman said to him. See anything you like? I've got 3 thou cash. How much is that family of rabbits over there? Sir, if you have a down payment of 3 thou, I can make you an owner of something a lot better than a pair of rabbits. What about a goat? I haven't thought much about goats, Rick said. May I ask if this represents a new price bracket for you? Well, I don't usually carry around 3 thou. I thought as much, sir, when you mentioned rabbits. The thing about rabbits, sir, is that everybody has one. I'd like to see you step up to the goat class, where I feel you belong. Frankly, you look more like a goat man to me. Is this goat female? He noticed a big black goat standing squarely in the center of its cage. Yes, this goat is female, a black Nubian goat, Very large, as you can see. This is a superb contender in the year's market, sir, and we're offering her at an attractive, unusually low price." On a slip of paper, the salesman scribbled a price and then briefly, almost furtively, showed it to Rick. The expense appalled him. He found himself shaking, but he said to himself, "The experience with Phil Resch. I have to get my confidence back, my faith in myself, and my abilities back, or I won't keep my job."
Hi.
Iran greeted him, busy in the kitchen with dinner.
Why so late tonight?
"Come up to the roof," he said. "I want to show you something."
You bought an animal.
She followed him out of the apartment.
You shouldn't have gotten it without me. I have a right to participate in the decision, the most important acquisition.
"I wanted it to be a surprise," he said.
You made some bounty money today?
"Yes, I retired 3 Andes." They entered the elevator. "I had to buy this. Something went wrong today, something about retiring them. It wouldn't have been possible for me to go on without getting an animal." The elevator had reached the roof. He led his wife out into the evening darkness, to the cage. Switching on the spotlights, he pointed to the goat.
Oh my God.
Iran said.
Is it really real?
"Absolutely real."
It's a goat. A black Nubian goat.
"Female. So maybe later on we can mate her, and we'll get milk out of which we can make cheese."
Can we let her out? Put her where the sheep is?
"She ought to be tethered," he said, "for at least a few days."
My life is love and pleasure.
Iran said.
An old song by Joseph Strauss, remember? When we first met?
She kissed him.
Much love and very much pleasure.
"Thanks," he said, and hugged her.
Let's run downstairs and give thanks to Mercer. Then we can come up here again and right away name her. She needs a name.
Something warned him. Something made him say, "Let's not go down to the apartment yet. Let's stay up here with the goat." The elevator, however, had come. "Iran, wait!" She held the elevator door from sliding shut.
Get in, Rick. This'll be just for a moment. You hardly ever undergo fusion. I want you to transmit the mood you're in now to everyone else. It would be immoral to keep it for ourselves.
She was, of course, right. In their living room, at the empathy box, Iran swiftly snapped the switch, her face animated with growing gladness.
I want everyone to know,
she told him. He drew her away from the empathy box. "Listen, I want to talk about what happened to me today. I met another bounty hunter, one I never saw before. A predatory one who seemed to like to destroy them. For the first time after being with him, I looked at them differently. I mean, in my own way, I had been viewing them as he did."
Won't this wait?
"I took a test, 1 question," Rick said, "and verified it. I've begun to empathize with androids. That's why I bought the goat. I never felt like that before. Maybe it could be a depression, like you get. I can understand how you suffer when you get depressed."
What about your job?
He blinked.
Your job.
She repeated.
What are the monthly payments on the goat?
She held out her hand. He got out the contract and passed it to her.
That much.
She said.
And you did this because you were depressed? Not as a surprise for me, as you originally said. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm still glad you got the goat. I love the goat. But it's such an economic burden.
"I can get switched to some other desk," Rick said. The vidphone rang. "It's the department," he said. "Say I'm not here." He headed for the bedroom.
Hello?
Iran said into the receiver. 3 more Andes, Rick thought, that I should have followed up on today, instead of coming home. On the vid screen, Harry Bryant's face had formed, so it was too late to get away.
Yes, he's here.
Iran was saying.
We bought a goat. Come over and see it, Mr. Bryant.
A pause, then she held the receiver up to Rick.
He has something he wants to say to you.
"Hello?" Rick said into the receiver. "We have a tail on the 2 remaining androids," Harry Bryant said. "Obviously, they've become alerted. They've left the address that Dave gave you, and now they can be found at... wait." Bryant groped about his desk. Automatically, Rick searched for a pen. He held the goat payment contract on his knee and prepared to write. "Conapt Building 3967-C, Inspector Bryant said. "Get over there as soon as you can. We have to assume that they know about the ones you picked off. That's why they've taken unlawful flight." "Unlawful?" Rick repeated. "To save their lives?" "By the way, I talked to Dave," Bryant said. "I told him the trouble they gave you. He says congratulations and be more careful. He says the Nexus 6 types are smarter than he thought. In fact, he couldn't believe you got 3 in one day." "3 is enough," Rick said. "I can't do anything more. I have to rest."